Welcome back, everybody. This is Hadrada here with the hyped conclusion to our The Newbie and the Beast tournament mid-elo bracket. And as you see at the top right there, the matchup is going to be SaltedPepper and BasicallyBebe against Daniel and Huni. That is the final matchup in this bracket. And in fact, let's actually take a look over here at the bracket. We see the way both these teams took to the finals. Bebe and SaltedPepper getting 2 rounds in with 2 victories, whereas Huni and Daniel, of course, were seeded into the semifinals because of their #1 overall seed in this tournament. And therefore, they could be considered the favorites here. They had a really good showing in those semifinals, and thus I would assume they are a little bit favored in this matchup. The finals as well right now is going to be a best of 3, and just like all the previous rounds, we're going to start with a 2v2 on Nomad, followed by potentially 2 games of 1v1 between the Newbie and the Beast players on both teams. Those terms meaning the lower elo player and the higher elo player on both teams. And yeah, that's basically all you need to know. And maybe as one last thing to keep in mind, the prize money for this finals is going to be 100 euros. Let me just double check that that is correct. Yes, 100 euros that is for the winning team. So 50 euros for each player on the winning team. The loser gets nothing. So it is absolutely high stakes right now. No more mistakes allowed. It's best of 3. Whoever wins 2 games first gets that 100 euro prize. Let's see if SaltedPepper and Bebe can actually compete, or if they have met their match here in the finals. The first game, 2v2 on Nomad, and this is the draft right here. In case you're not familiar, we had 2 bans there on both sides that were hidden. So it just so happened that both teams decided to ban the Spanish, and then 5 civilizations picked on each side with 1 snipe coming in at the end. And so this means that for the first game, there are 4 civilizations to choose from for both teams, and they can pick 2 of those. And when heading into the game, the opponent will not know which 2 civilizations were actually in fact chosen for the game until it launches. So that is all the information out of the way. Game 1 of our finals in the mid-elo bracket is on right here with SaltedPepper and Bebe as the #3 seed. You can see there on the left side of the screen, Daniel and Huni, the #1 seed of this bracket. Certainly the favorite coming in, I would argue, but I mean, Pepper and Bebe. Pepe, well, that is, I guess, that is the fusion of those names. Pepper and Bebe have looked extremely good and well prepared in the first 2 rounds as well, so they're certainly coming to play here. I would imagine them putting up a good fight at least. And we have their town centers very close together already as we start out on Nomad. Let's take a quick look at the civilizations maybe. Daniel and Huni spawning a little bit further apart and deciding to put up those TCs kind of at opposite ends of the map. For their team, we have the Dravidians and the Persians locked in as civilizations. 2 civilizations that are oftentimes considered some of the best on hybrid maps and water maps in general even. The bonuses there very significant. Of course, we see for the Persians those faster working docks and TCs, giving you a natural eco lead most of the time on these types of maps. Starting with extra food and wood is also perfect for Nomad, since you oftentimes struggle for those res early on in the game. Makes it a bit smoother to start out. And so, especially for Huni, who is the lower elo player here, and I think the lowest elo player in this game, having the Persians with those little bit of extra res might help out greatly. So that could come in clutch here. On the other side, of course, Daniel with the Dravidians down here, a civilization that is extremely controversial among pro players. And Daniel, the highest rated player in this bracket, certainly will know how to pilot them. They are, of course, attractive for these types of maps, mainly because of their extra wood that they start out, or that they get whenever they age up to the next age. That is really nice when, of course, you want to go into warships, or just in general you want to get those buildings up early on whenever you hit the next age. So I love that bonus as well. And then that fishing bonus there with the extra carry capacity, quite akin to extra carry capacity on farmers, a bonus where your food income increases quite substantially actually if you're able to utilize it. Now that being said, let's also check out the civs for our team in the middle here for Pepper and BB. What is that? That is the Italians and the Mongols. Also definitely not too bad, but different types of civs, where the Italians are more of the water civilization, more classic one at least. Mongols definitely not known as one of the premier water civs. Let's check out what the strengths are, shall we? I mean, Italians, cheaper age up and also cheaper fishing ships makes it really nice to get a good dark and feudal age on Nomad going, where, as already mentioned, the resources can be a little bit short in the beginnings. And late game with gunpowder discounts, also not to be underestimated there. For the Mongols on the other side, they are very well known for their land aggression on open land maps, for example, where you have amazing early game economy. You gather those deer, those boars, any hunt extremely fast. So basically nobody gets as much food in the early game as quickly as the Mongols. We'll see if and how SaltedPepper is going to be able to exploit this. I'm very curious to see how the Mongols are going to be played here. Is it going to be fast castle into Step Brothers or Mangadai, or what is the plan there? Are we going to see scout play, where we also have some extra HP as one of the civ bonuses? Well, we'll see how they decide to play those civs. But we're already on the way here to the feudal age. We're actually not quite clicked up yet, but what I mean is that we're kind of getting in the area of click ups becoming realistic. So let's actually focus on the in-game action. Okay, well, what have we going on down here? Maybe some attempts of walling in the dock villager. I don't think it succeeded. In any case, it looks funny. So we have Daniel bringing in that boar now. Nicely done. Probably has loom already. Yes, so this is not a worry. For BB, of course, coming in as well. SaltedPepper. Actually, what is this? This is next level strats here for the Mongols, taking a boar from the teammate. But definitely not a bad idea when you don't have a lot of hunt around, maybe. And you want to utilize that Mongol hunt bonus. So it's going to be a valuable pickup. Nice little lure here. And Huni also scouting a little bit with the villager here, maybe trying to be a bit annoying. Let's check out the scouting and the vision of both these teams. Doesn't look really too bad for Daniel and Huni. I mean, just looking at this, they have a pretty good idea of what's going on already. Having found that TC from SP, I don't really know if they're aware of BB being right here as well. But overall their vision is not looking too bad down here. Of course, Daniel really hasn't scouted a whole lot, it seems. Just with the sheep, of course, which is standard for Nomad. But, you know, mainly all the villagers still concentrated in that TC area. No real buildings anywhere else. And I'm amazed. It looks like... Yeah, well, okay, Daniel's built all the houses up here. I was going to say, where are all those houses, man? You gotta have some pop space, but that's where he decided to make those. Still aware of that dock being down here for BB. As for all the players are starting to click up now, and actually the first up click was the Mongols with that early extra food income. Not too surprising, although the Italians might also have been expected to go up really early, but it seems more likely that maybe BB is going for a fast castle here, since she hasn't actually clicked up, and she's also already starting to collect gold. At least that is what capture age tells me. I don't personally see where the gold is being mined. Oh yeah, over here we have the gold mining camp coming out. So fair enough. That is SaltedPepper getting that early uptime to the feudal age and starting off with a stable already. This is pretty much standard Mongol play like you would expect it on just regular land maps. In terms of the dock, that is idle right now. Of course, when you go up this early with these little villages, it's 23 right now. At least 19 villages, I should say, 4 fishing ships there. Don't have that amazing eco where you can just get everything. And SP apparently going to focus on land first. That said though, as 5 scouts are being queued up at once. Jesus, okay. Doing a really good job collecting that food. Still has some sheep around here even. Also a galley is being queued up. So we are going to see some aggression on the water after all. Huni also the next one to reach the next age. Daniel also having gone up already. And we're going to see the stable from the Persians too. Not that surprising. A lot of villagers coming forward, but that is the first scout, and of course no forging there for SaltedPepper. But still, when the opponent doesn't have any military units in the field, that can be quite annoying. But good job with the early spearman there from Huni. Can't be easy there when you're facing a really high elo player in SaltedPepper. As the lowest ranked player yourself in this game. But Huni has demonstrated in this tournament before that they're capable of handling tough matchups too and holding their own for quite some time, and Daniel has been able to exploit his potential mismatchups pretty well in the tournament so far, so we'll see what and how he will get involved with soon. There we have finally SaltedPepper finding some good value out of those scouts. The first villager is going to be taken out here. Daniel not going to be able to wall that off. But that said, has gotten out a second dock. That is perhaps what the Dravidians allow you to do with that 200 extra wood. 2 docks are up and running. And we're going to get fire galleys here. Apparently, as 4 regular galleys are already out for the Dravidians. BB's got a lot of fishing ships down here with the second dock also up and running. But has got to be careful with the enemy building up a rather big navy. There we go. Huni also going forward now with their army and a tower as well. That is extremely aggressive, but I like the play. I assume SaltedPepper is not privy to this information. Well, kind of. Maybe, probably is aware of this going on, but it is going to be quite annoying. That gold and that woodline is going to be bothered. Couple of scouts there for the Mongols, but they're suffering in the trades with these spearmen here. This is probably not the best engagement there for SaltedPepper. Probably sends the army in here just to get the villagers out of there safely. We're going to walk straight through the tower now. Oh no! Oh, this is gonna be quite unfortunate there for SaltedPepper. Well, at least get some harassment in on the fish down here, but these poor villagers, they're taking a lot of hits here. SaltedPepper BB down by 10 eco units right now. The early game has gone pretty well for Daniel and Huni, and I'm quite surprised by that because it's their opponents who are really close together, who I thought had a little bit safer spawn here. But no, as a couple of people are approaching Castle Age here, BB with the FC just like we suspected. They're going to need to make this Castle Age count now. Of course, it's only natural that you maybe go down a little bit of villages when you're going up to Castle Age this early. But yeah, we'll see. They're gonna have to do some damage here, and this is the way they're going to try to do that damage. BB coming in with the castle drop right on Daniel's face. Let's see if this is actually going to work out. A lot of villagers being brought forward here, and the scouts from SaltedPepper. Good coordination here between the teammates to make sure this castle goes up. There's no way for Daniel to actually stop this. He's about 1.5 minutes away from the next age himself. It's scouts here from Huni still knocking on the door of the north of the base there for BB. Castle is going to go up, and there's scouts into the woodline. It wasn't walled off in time. Let's see though, as Daniel's doing a great job fighting back here. It looks like only 1 villager has gone down there, and the 2 scouts are fine for now. Defensive castle on the north, meanwhile, prepared for SaltedPepper. If this goes up, this is amazing. This protects a lot of space here. Wonder if the gate is going to hold up long enough for this to complete, though. BB has been able to raise this castle. And now a lot of villagers down here going to have to be put back to work in a second. Well, this castle here would be extremely valuable, as we said. It looks like they're going to be able to complete it. Nice job on the repairs of the gate as well. BB and SaltedPepper are not going to go away, and the eco gap is still 10, but there's a hole in the walls down here! Oh boy, I didn't even see that. Maybe it's the overtop, maybe it's something between these palisades, but I don't think they've realized this yet. And BB realizes now. Garrisons, he has a lot of scouts in a base, able to quick wall that one villager in at least. But that is such an annoying hole down there. Quite unfortunate. Castle doing a great job here, keeping Daniel off of this gold. Has had to migrate down to the next gold. Already has a TC up and running down there. So Daniel has been able to pivot quite nicely. SaltedPepper, meanwhile, with very little eco space up here in the north. The scouts coming out to harass in the back. But this looks very nicely walled in. That is great attention to detail there by SaltedPepper. I wonder how long these berries are still there. I sadly can't click the ones right behind the mill, so I'm not sure if there's going to be an over forage coming in soon. But as we speak, both players for their team adding unique units right now. We've got some Mangodai for SaltedPepper, maybe to try and harass and raid with a little bit. Got some Genoese crossbowmen now to take care of the scouts there. That is going to be an amazing trade that Baby is going to be taking, and that's why Huni wisely disengages there. Doesn't want to take that fight, that's for sure. Castle's still in the process of going down here, and actually has a conversion coming in on the Genoese with the raiding going on here. Oh, this is so funny. Look at this. BB with the micro. Okay, dodging those shots. Well, it looks like the crossbow is going to go down in the end, but it is still funny. And Huni as well on the way to Castle Age now is going to be the last player to get up there. It looks like it's holding on relatively fine. That said, SaltedPepper has found his way on the front with some Mangodai harassing now, and Huni has to abandon a woodline here. That is a bit unfortunate. The wall was almost completed, but not able to get it up in time. Now, SaltedPepper going for very cheeky TC just alongside BB. They're coordinating all of their moves so nicely here. They're now going to expand a little bit outward into the center of the map. Let's see how well that'll go for them. A lot of extra res here, a lot of extra gold and wood and eco space that they're going to secure themselves if this actually goes up. I don't really see how it would be denied, as the land military isn't really there for Huni and Daniel. In fact, Daniel only has units that were converted, so he's full monks on land right now. Huni has some scouts as well, but that's it. So SP and BB with a little bit more control on the land now. They're going to use that to drop another castle. This time around is SaltedPepper with the forward castle right on Huni's face. Going to have to pivot here as Huni also arrives to Castle Age. Starts queuing up some camels, and that is a curious choice. I wonder why camels for the Persians here. Nobody's really going into cavalry on the other team, so maybe there's a misclick. Yeah, that's just one camel as well, so I don't really love this. By the way, maybe just wanted some unit to try and, well, scout. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure what the camel exactly is for, but probably not the most important choice. Conversion on the fishing ships now for Daniel, being extremely annoying on the water. Oh. And has a pretty decent navy. As I said, the land military isn't really there for Daniel and Huni, but the water control is amazing. We have 18 fishing ships for Daniel, half of that for Huni. On the other side, no fish left at all for BB or SaltedPepper, so that's why the eco gap looks so big in terms of the numbers there in the villages. Let's actually check out the resources collected at this point. If we check out collect here, you can see Huni just 500 less than BB, but Daniel with almost 3,000 more than SaltedPepper. So the eco difference in terms of res collected is truly there for Daniel and Huni. Let's see if for SP and BB, land only is going to be enough in order to stick around here. I really liked their expansion, and ooh, look at this. Huni is trying to get out of there with the castle drop occurring. Sends a lot of villager on the run, but SaltedPepper with the scouts and the Mangonite gets in here and gets quite a few picks here, I would imagine. although the military is low HP already. Oh, look at this. Huni migrating everything down here into Daniel's base, but loses a lot of villagers on the run here. I wonder if that was the correct play, but with BB and Pepper actually expanding towards the middle of the map, they kind of separated the enemy team into two, so that's possibly why Huni decided to try to get to their teammate before it was too late and before they were cut off for good. But that was a costly migration. Look at the villager numbers. It's 33. Huni extremely well, weak at this point. Look at this. Doesn't really have a lot of space to take anything with. And there's another batch of villagers on the run now. Most likely not how they envisioned this to go. But really nicely coordinated effort once more by BB and SaltedPepper. Okay, well, let's see. They've gained some ground here on the land. Villager numbers still not looking too pretty, with Daniel just adding exorbitant amounts of fish. Is that enough to carry them though? Town center here, the original one for Daniel has gone down, but of course he has 4 additional ones here, kind of right on the same screen. Looks quite funny, but is well protected eco space. With some scouts down here, but that's pretty much it. And loses another group of villagers against the Mangadai. SaltedPepper is just everywhere right now, just fletching on those. No ballistics, even nothing, but able to pick off units everywhere. Look at this, how many villagers? Huni is down to 19 right now, and going to lose that original town center too. Doesn't have wood to drop a new one. This is such a, well, difficult game to play for Daniel and Huni, honestly, I feel. Daniel, big burden of stabilizing this game is on him now, and he's going to try with a castle forward, bring siege and monks. No front line really, but if he micros these units well, he's a pro player after all, he could be able to do something here. Castle is being dropped, and that is going to go up. I don't see how it's denied anyways. BB with 1 villager TC down here, that's going to take some time, but also going to go up. No likelihood. How far can Daniel push this? How much time can he buy for Huni to boom back into this potentially? He is super strong here, without question. Has 90 villagers. That is more than 20 more than any other player. Just going to take more stone here, probably going to need some more castles to secure that base and push out. Mangonels on BB's TC, that is likely going to go down here pretty fast. Triple mangonel, no chance of holding that. Botkin arrow also in for Daniel, so castle long range, good damage, and is going to add some skirmishes here, perhaps against the Genoese, which BB has found a good angle to attack from, but sadly G2 no ballistics, so it doesn't actually get those villager picks here on the stone. That is a really nice angle to hit from. Finally, some villagers start going down. Look at this. SaltedPepper has found the TC over here. Looks like another few villagers might have been killed, but the Mangadai will have to back off after the TC is garrisoned. Small little fight down here as well. We have actually Navy facing off against the Genoese here. Some monks helping out as well. Gotta be careful there, but Daniel manages those units really nicely. BB has to retreat and slowly inches his way forward with another castle here. BB and SaltedPepper now trying to put their foot down. They're trying to engage this one here. The light cavalry comes in on the monks. I don't think they're going to take out a lot of them though. Oh, let's see how well this goes. It's a big mass and a massacre too, as the monks are actually taken quite low, and a few of them have definitely died here. I'm not sure this was worth it, but I mean, light cav isn't the most expensive unit, so I feel like SaltedPepper might be happy with the trade. I'm not sure. Ultimately, the castle here is still going to go up, and BB trying to get their own castle up on the castle, or on the hill, with Huni trying to deny and buy some time here. Daniel also with the 2 converted light cav working away, but the villagers are able to complete the building. So now, at least the northern kind of end of this front is secured for BB and SaltedPepper, but Daniel up to imp already with the first trebuchet out. He's got so much control here underneath his castles. You really need a little bit more Mangudai mass in order to be able to take out these trebuchets, I believe. SaltedPepper, more light cavalry coming in though, actually, and he's going to try and stop this castle from going up unsuccessfully so, I believe, though, as the monks and the skirmishers from behind slowly but surely taking out these light cavalries. Oh, it is a bit awkward for both sides here, who are taking quite some losses, but in fact, SaltedPepper is successful so far in terms of denying the castle. However, loses a lot of military here, and the skirmishers, especially against the Mangudai, of course, extremely efficient. The trebuchets, meanwhile, untouched, and now only 5 Mangudai left, with only fletching for SaltedPepper to try and play against these trebuchets with. And with 2 castles being right here already, the trebuchet mass is going to be pretty hard to deal with. Good choice by Bebe to now use her own crossbows to still raid with. Comes back from the north this time around and always finds some nice villager picks. And this time around with ballistics too, so actually going to get a lot more value out of that. That being said, the castle has been raised here that BB and SP fought so hard to get up. It's really Daniel against the world right now. Can he pull this off with Huni on 27 villagers and a transport ship? Daniel, though, the big stack bully here. It's those 4 trebuchets working away and already taken out town centers and castles. He's on a roll. Eco numbers almost even now for both teams. And the score is telling a very different story, with Daniel absolutely rolling here. Is there anything they can do to stop this push here? I mean, the counter raid was nice from BB, but those Genoese have been cleaned up by now. Still, monks, siege, skirmishes, that is what Daniel's bringing. Of course, the skirms there for the Dravidians also no joke. One of the major units they're known for. It is a hot mess. Look at this map, blinking everywhere. This castle here doing a good job pressuring that TC, but I don't think this TC, I don't think Huni's little village is really that important right now for this overall game state to change. So probably not going to be a lot that Pepper and BB will gain over there. I just feel like they don't have an answer to this, quite honestly. Not able to get up to imp either themselves, and no big army to stop this. 16 Mangudai, I guess, could do a lot of work against trebuchets if they were to get in range, but all these skirmishes, they would just evaporate that army on the spot if they actually chose to engage though. So somehow SP will have to kind of bait away the skirmishers or distract them, split them up, anything to get onto these traps. But as it stands, castles will go up and castles will go down. Big engagement now. Maybe this is the last stand for SaltedPepper. Goes in with some light cav, tries to take out some skirms, some villagers, but the arbalests in there doing an amazing job against the light cav too. The Mangudai, with all that time being bought for them, only able to take out a singular trap here. Finally, at least Botkin is in there, so they're doing okay damage, but you can see how many units are going down. The light cavalry for the Mongols, quite tanky units, and so it is enough time to take out all those 3 trebuchets. The army for SaltedPepper, not bad. Castle's still going to go up though, and so the push forward is going to continue, although it is slowed down at this point. That was a good play by SaltedPepper. Worked out pretty nice. Killed really a lot there. Especially the monk numbers, I think, have decreased by quite a bit. But that said, I don't think this investment over here. Maybe this is just to secure the gold as well with this castle, but really don't think this TC there for Huni did play that big a role. With arbalests up now as well, this is really awkward. If you're not able to go up to Imp here as BB or as SaltedPepper, what do you have that's good against arbalests? I mean, honestly, like, what castle age units do you make? Is it just Elite Skirm with Botkin is the best thing you have? I believe that to be the case. Typically, I'd say, yeah, Mongols, easy. Just go drill onagers and you mow down all those arbalests, but that is quite the utopia at this point. BB also having lost a lot of ground there, of course, with their TC having gone down. Very vulnerable to raids from the south here. Although, luckily for them, Daniel hasn't found that avenue yet. Looks like the Mangudai is still roaming the map here. Taking out a couple of units there. It is a mess, but Daniel has kind of extended the push all through the middle and is controlling the center of the map now, where those TCs were planted earlier. Going to take down another town center here. And can push in kind of any direction he wants, and, well, in any direction there are town centers, castles, and everything for BB and for SaltedPepper. The eco number still rather even there for both teams, amazingly. A lot of arrow fire there as the town centers are being pushed still. Seems like SaltedPepper repaired a little bit, forcing Daniel to dive under. And his push is still going. Well, cost is going up for both parties here, but Daniel committed with a lot more villagers, thus this castle up first and not denied by this light cavalry. That being said, though, he's kind of distracted right now, it seems, so SaltedPepper is getting a lot of villagers. I mean, look at this. Daniel seems to be actually handling another part of the map right now. Oh, that is not good for him. He's losing a bunch of villagers here. Oh, he's below 90 now. That is quite the... well, misfortune there. Seems like it is quite the stressful game for him too. A lot of responsibilities on his shoulder there, as he's the one with the big eco. Finally seems to have taken care of those light cavalry. A few are still riding around in the south here, now harassing Huni as well. I mean, big compliments to BB and SaltedPepper being extremely annoying here. And well, they're still not up to Imp or anywhere close, but they are hanging around here. Castle has gone up though for Daniel, and so he seems a tough nut to crack right now. I don't see how they're pushing his base, how they're raiding him effectively in the long term, and what they can do to stop his main push either. It's just going full like skirmisher arbalest, and there's no counter unit there. We see for the Italians those skirmishers, they are now fully upgraded in Castle Age, but that's still awkward against Imperial Age Dravidian skirmishers. Look at those, they're also fully upgraded for Daniel here. And he should just shred in these types of fights, right? I mean, look at this. This can't be a good engagement for BB and SaltedPepper to take. But maybe it's the best, it's the last they have to offer here. With all the Mangudai pretty much having gone down now. Oh, another castle on the side for Daniel. It looks like he's really solidifying his position here. And to me, I really think he's able to do this here. Huni also up to 50 villagers now. Being slung a few resources as well. Oh my goodness. Daniel is controlling everything. GG called. Game 1 goes over. And that was a really nice one. Both sides being extremely active. And Pepper and BB tried really hard there to find raids to somehow stop this. But Daniel just on a roll, allowed to build up, got to Castle Age, had all the naval control, and from there was able to extend into the middle of the land as well. Just a chain of castles, and then the early imp with trebuchets just tore apart everything. At this point, I mean, look at what he had. He had 16 elite elephant archers in the field too. Those alone probably would have taken out everything that BB and SP had. Okay, well, that is the first one. That's game number 1 for these two teams. And as I said, it's a best of 3. So that means Daniel and Huni at match point here in a game 2. With a victory, they could secure that first place and that €100 prize. But not so fast, because for game number 2, it's now SaltedPepper and BB who get to choose if they want to have the 2 newbie players or the 2 beast players play against each other. And I will actually just look up real quick what game number 2 was, what they chose. My files say that it is BB against Huni for game number 2, and that is the likely choice, the one that I would have expected, just because, of course, in the higher, the beast level players, the advantage there is with Daniel in terms of elo, but BB is rated higher than Huni, so that would be the mismatch in their favor. No surprises there that they would pick that. Let's pull up the draft for that series now. BB against Huni. And we have the map draft here. In case you guys are not familiar with the map draft, Yep, there we go. There are 3 maps in this pool. You can see Arabia, Enclosed, and Lowland are the maps. And the way it works, both players pick one map without being able to see what the opponent picked. Then both of these maps are revealed. In this case, Lowland and Arabia were picked, and that means that these two guys will have to play the last leftover map that none of the players picked. In case both players had picked the same map here, then that map would have been played in this 1v1. But as it stands, it means Enclosed was picked by nobody, and that is going to be the map for game number 2, Huni against Bebe. Now with that knowledge, let's see what civilizations they ended up selecting on Enclosed. There we go. We have quite a few there. Hilariously, it seems both players actually banned Gojaras. I'll take that, Daniela. And the picks ended up being Khmer, Malians, Lithuanians, Sicilians for Huni, Britons, Franks, Byzantines, and Berbers for Bebe, and then 2 snipes coming in for either party, leaving both players with 2 civilizations, which they can select one for the game from. So Huni here either going to have to go Sicilians or Malians, with Bebe having the option of selecting Berbers or Byzantines. Well, Huni on match point here, able to close out the series for their team and secure 100 euros. Bebe has to win this game though in order to extend the series to a 3rd decisive game for her team. So that is the stakes. That is the situation we're at for game 2 of the finals in the mid-elo bracket of the Newbie and the Beast tournament. Daniel and Huni on the left side, SaltedPepper and Bebe on the right. And in fact, of course, since this is a 1v1, we can remove the second player names from the title, or from the top right here. Let me just hold on real quick. Series score is now at 0-1. I'll just quickly adjust that overlay. Actually, I kind of like it, right? So you still know that it is a team game after all. Yeah, no, let's actually keep it the way it is. I think that makes sense. Okay, well, that being said, it ends up being Sicilians for Huni here on the left side. And on the right side, it was Byzantines that ends up being the choice for BasicallyBebe, who again is in a must-win scenario here in order to keep the dream of the tournament victory alive. And for this matchup, I don't actually have a lot of information. I'm not a big player of either of these 2 civs. In fact, I've never played either of those in a multiplayer game, I don't think. So let's check them out and see if there's one civilization that we might think has the angle. Byzantines, of course, are very famous defensive civilizations, driving on their extra HP buildings, on their discounts for a lot of units, and that mainly being camels, pikes, and skirms. So cheap counter units, pretty much, allowing you to react to whatever your opponent does. And then in Imperial Age you get up to that faster, and you get both the gunpowder options too. So you're not actually that bad on Lakin when you get there. Cataphract is an amazing anti-infantry unit as well, which might help out here against the Sicilians. So I don't dislike that at first glance. And with a defensive civilization on a more closed map like this, maybe it makes sense in that regard. Again, I'm not a Byzantines player myself, so I don't know about this specific matchup, but maybe taking a look at the Sicilian overview could give us a better idea of how this matchup could go. And we have a lot of interesting sneaky bonuses. I mean, first things first, of course, well known for their dungeon shenanigans. You start with extra stone there, and you have those weird little buildings that, well, are towers. You can add them in Feudal Age, but they can also produce sergeants, so infantry units, and can be built by sergeants. So a bit of Feudal Age play is certainly a possibility there. Can get real aggressive with those dungeons. Wonder if we're going to see that here, though. But again, I don't really know what to expect at all in this matchup. So that is kind of anyone's guess. Then also, less bonus damage being taken by land military is an interesting one. Because we just said how Byzantines had really cheap counter units. They love to use those units with bonus damage heavily. Sicilians taking less of that bonus damage isn't bad when you're expecting Byzantines to rely on bonus damage quite a lot. So actually a good bonus to have there, I would argue. And well, a little bit of eco bonus there, you get more food per farm, and that actually in total doesn't really increase your food output, but it just means you need to reseed farms less often. It's kind of like a free, like whatever, crop rotation or whatever. So, or no, sorry, a free horse collar or whatever. But it'll save you some wood in the long run. Okay, well, and maybe just to add in, Sicilians, it says infantry civ, of course, the sergeants, extremely powerful, especially in Castle Age. But in Imperial Age 2, with Hauberg unique tech, your knights, man, they are getting extremely powerful. 2 extra pierce armor, also 1 extra melee armor there. So, be able to get up to that. That is pretty strong too. And perhaps a bit scary for the Byzantines though, although, again, with those cheap camels and halberdiers, maybe better equipped than most other civs to handle Hauberg Cavalier. So, I don't think I have a clear favorite in terms of civs that I would put ahead of the other. Loom coming in for both players, and that's Feudal Age on the way. Basically no idle time for both these guys there, and both clicking up on 19 villagers. Pretty standard so far. Again, nothing out of the ordinary here overall. And actually, elo wise, just to have an idea what kind of area we're talking about here, Huni is like 1250, 1350-ish, whereas BB is a little bit higher in the 13 to 1500 range. I think more so around 1400, although I don't have the most recent data on that. So BB is the favorite in this particular 1v1, in terms of just the player level, that is. Let's see how she's able to exploit this. Barracks coming up now, 40 seconds away from feudal. Nice timing there. Huni also has a lot of wood right here, although I'm a bit surprised since I don't see the barracks coming up yet. Feels pretty late on that, honestly. Scouts forward. This is something you see the better players do right around the time where you're gonna get feudal age. Send that scout forward to see if the opponents go in stables, archery range, if they go double barracks, whatever they're doing. Just having your scout forward right around this time is usually a good decision. And there we go. Stables coming out for BB right at the start of feudal age. Huni really quite late here. I wonder what's going on. Maybe there's a bit of nerves playing into this here at this point. Huni with the chance to win 100 euros for themselves. Actually, not going to go for any military buildings just yet, which is a bit confusing to me. We see right there the stable has been spotted, so has the barracks. Or was it? Yeah, oh yeah, no, it was all good. So I wonder what the play is going to be here. First things, we have a dungeon here to protect both berries and gold relatively well. I don't mind that. That is something you'll see happen oftentimes when the opponent, well, no, has the advantage then, is raiding you, feudal age. Unclosed where the resources are quite far away from the town center. Don't think it's a bad idea to add in some dungeons on the outside, but again, no military buildings yet for... Oh no, I'm the idiot. Oh no, he's building, producing out of the dungeon. Okay, I was gonna say, is there barracks? There's spearmen coming, but no. Apparently can produce spearmen from a dungeon as well. See, I didn't even know that. But yeah, that's what Huni is working with right now. Stables, archery range, none of that is coming out. And going pretty heavily into farms here with horse collar as well. The same thing for BB, also having set up a nice eco for themselves already. First scout being taken out, that's the first kill of this game. Spearman already paying off, and knowing that the opponent has gone for that stable, of course, getting 2 spearmen out on the map, not a bad idea. That being said though, I'm really surprised, like, Huni's being extremely passive here. We're not seeing any dungeon plays forward. We're not seeing any military units forward. It's just kind of existing here, walling up the base, finishing off on those. And, oh, well, that being said, BB also not overly investing into military, has sent those couple of scouts out, but realizing with the dungeon here and the spearmen, already forced a decent reaction out of Huni, so might be a smart play there for BB to actually just wait for Castle Age, because you force that reaction out of the opponent, right? So you can assume that maybe you're even ahead in terms of resources up to the next age. And it really depends what both players feel like with their matchup here. If both players feel like they're actually winning in the long run, or if they're winning in Castle Age, then just not doing a whole lot in Castle Age is okay, I guess, if your opponent is not forcing you to. Wheelbarrow coming in nice and early for BB, who already has 17 farms. Well, no, 2 of those are forages, but might as well, because that's 11 farms. Not bad, man, not bad. Blacksmith going to be the second building that going to be required in order to click up. And after that, we might already see the click for Daniel, for Huni here. As neither of the buildings, apparently a dungeon does not count as a building to click up to the next age. So still needs 2 buildings here. Blacksmith Market both coming up. That is also going to delay the next age by quite a bit. Had a lot of wood at the ready, but refused to add military buildings early, and Blacksmith also a bit late, so could have already clicked up to the next age. Instead, it's going to BB, who is a little bit faster, but props to Huni after that. After the feudal age click, in the entirety of feudal age, had just 1 second of idle TC time until now, where I assume, well, they probably thought they had already clicked up. Sadly, a bit late, so picks up 15 more seconds there. But I was gonna say, like, pretty good town center management. Again, not a lot was going on, so maybe it wasn't the hardest, but always kept producing there. And I feel like, again, depending on what you feel about this matchup and where you think your strengths are, at which point your civ is better, both players probably happy with the way this has played out so far. Neither has taken any meaningful losses to speak of at all. Huni now goes into sergeants apparently, but no blacksmith tags being committed yet. And we have sergeant production being started up. There we go. Scale mail also on the way. It seems to be infantry that Huni wants to open up with, and not a bad choice, because for BB, remember, we have cheaper pikes, cheaper camels, and cheaper skirms. So that is cheap counter units for cavalry, and for archers. What is not included in there? Infantry. So opening with infantry against the Byzantines, maybe not a bad idea. Now, here we are. Finally, Huni going forward. I'm expecting a dungeon to be dropped around here. Wonder where exactly it's going to go. We have double TCs coming out for BB on the outside resources there. Not looking too bad. And Huni playing this slow, going with a 1 dungeon forward. And probably going to extend a chain of dungeons here, if I had to guess. Maybe this is just a production building, though, for more sergeants. Really can't be sure. Sends in the scout now, so is aware of that 1 TC going up here. Doesn't know about the northern one. BB also with a couple of knights coming out from the stable now. Those are not going to do too bad against the sergeants, I don't think. At least I'm not sure. 8 attack on these suckers, man. That is just unreasonable here. Forging also about to come in. That said, knights in and of themselves also a really strong unit there. Now have a little bit less armor than the sergeants, but more attack and of course more HP. So they should obviously do well in even number fights. But Huni has done a good job mixing in some spearmen and has of course more sergeants than BB has knights. So this could be quite playable. See Siege Workshop also being brought. And it is just that 1 dungeon for production purposes, I suppose, as the villagers have now started work on the lumber camp. Meanwhile at home there's no pressure at all for Huni, as BB sitting there with the 3 TC boom right now, adding in just a little bit of military, not a ton. whenever the gold is enough, another knight ends up coming out. Here's what it looks like. And the market is finally going to come in as well, perhaps. For BB, it might get uncomfortable soon. The ram is the first thing coming out from Huni. A ram always useful when you're playing infantry civs to open up access to the opponent's base to raid with. Let's see from BB's perspective. Yes, she's Byzantines here, so gets that free town watch, or whatever it's called, town patrol as well. So sees the dungeon, sees everything going on right here. I'm not sure if Huni was aware that the vision is pretty big there for the Byzantines. And the engagement is starting, and with this spearman in there, I gotta say, this is probably not a bad trade for Huni, although it's hard to keep up with this cavalry. Smart by BB to actually kite this back into the range of the TC. So Sergeant's not actually able to do a whole lot of damage, but look at how tanky these are. Chainmail armor, what is this? 5 melee and 5 pierce armor. Who's supposed to kill this shit? You need siege, you need knights, and that's exactly what Byzantines are bringing. You need units that have a ton of attack if you want to even do some damage to these sergeants. That is just oppressive as hell. We were trying to wall behind this, but the range of the dungeon is pretty good. If fletching was in there, the dungeon would do a lot more for Huni. I'm just saying, maybe that could be useful. Still tries with a bunch of sergeants here with the ram, tries to push and do some damage. That said though, BB, 12 extra villagers there, still on those 3 TCs to Huni's 1. So as long as she holds here with minimal losses, she's super happy with the game state, I would assume. And Huni is still mossing those what are they called? Those sergeants, of course. That could be uncomfortable, and has a really nice play with the garrison here. That was smooth. Goes forward, but BB just in time, able to pull back here. Also smart pickup on the fletching. Exactly what we wanted to see. Gives more pressure to this dungeon. But BB just in time with a great reaction here. And actually now with the mangonel starts to trade way better as the sergeants still going forward. It is a bit of a mess right now. Big old mess all over this battlefield. I'm not really sure who's taking the better trade here, as both players are losing virtually the entire armies, but the dungeon is going to go down here. Or is it? As the sergeants are focusing on the mangonels, and oh, it looks like BB taking the better end of this trade. The mangonels have all been taken out, but still a lot of knights left here. I'd like to see BB actually pull these back and heal up them, because all of them are kind of low on HP here. But she's just continuing to dive right now and taking out all of these sergeants, despite the low HP's knights. Able to win this battle, although the dungeon stays up. So Huni still has decent pressure here. Problem is, the eco numbers aren't really getting closer. Sergeant's now used to try and get up another dungeon here. I wonder if that is actually viable. You only have 2 sergeants building it right now. And there's a lot of knights here for BB. Not sure how well that is actually going to go. I mean, look at this. There's a lot of knights here. And the sergeants, they're just preoccupied building right now. Sergeants quite low on HP here, and sergeants, if they garrison, they don't fire arrows. Oh, all the sergeants have been taken out, and these dungeons are truly in danger of going down here. So is the ram taken out. BB at this point with 18 villagers. The score lead is humongous here at this point. Still adds more knights, has been getting finding great success with knights so far, and this ram is just going to be cut down immediately as well. Huni's push has ran out of steam, and it wasn't all in. It was a 1 TC play, no eco upgrades here, nothing really at home. Huni it's just, they've got nothing left. It's just 1 sergeant now, and buy some more stone, maybe for more dungeons or whatever. Well, actually no, just for another TC now, but this transition into eco is probably just way too late at this point. Oh, it looks like BB has weathered the push and comes out with a big village lead here, 20 wills up on Huni, and has all the army control as well. Will take out everything here. It's in a really good spot here. Of course, you have to bring it home. You have to bring it home. Must not fumble the ball. But it looks like we might be headed for a 3rd game in order to decide the finals of the mid-elo bracket. Very calm, composed play there. for BasicallyBebe. Like what I'm seeing there. Just set up the triple TC after getting to Castle Age just a little bit earlier, and had just the right units to defend the push. Was smart going into units with a lot of attack. Could actually hurt these sergeants. We'll take out the 5 forward wheels as well at this point. So the villager gap is going to get even more ridiculous, despite Huni also having added a 3rd TC at home now. Everything considered though, better eco upgrades, more villagers and more army for Bebe. It really looks improbable that Huni would be able to turn this around at this point. Knights still on the map for Bebe and now trying to raid forward 2. There's no scale bar, or of course not. Well, no, there is scale barring. There's no, what was it, chain barring. Chain barring is not in yet. So the knights, maybe not as tanky as they could be, but still quite impactful when they're able to dive underneath these TC, find a couple of ungarrisoned villages. Could prove deadly, and there's no pikeman upgrade, I don't think, for Huni either. Not a lot of monks yet, although it was a good choice to set up the monastery now. Comes out with the 1 monk. Conversion not going to come through yet. Has to be careful with all these villagers. I think it's a pretty good idea to add another TC here, just to be able to garrison all of the villages if push comes to shove, because that is just a lot of knights Bebe still has out on the map. Even adding another castle here on the side. Not even that castle, well, I wonder what that is for Bebe. I really do. Is it just to be able to create some traps if you go into the next stage? Because I feel like she has all the map control in the world right now. It would be able to drop a castle right on Huni's face. It is, I guess, not bad defensively, right? It's on a hill and on the flank of the base, but there's not really any rest directly underneath it. And Bebe says, okay, we've waited long enough, dives in with the knights now, maybe to stop this mining camp from going up. And I mean, already 17 kills on these knights. God, man, 3 eco kills as well. So 3 villagers have already gone down to this. It's just so tough for Huni at this point. Well, what is the angle? Where do you have the advantage? Maybe an imp with Hauberg. Maybe there's an angle there, but Byzantines, when they have the better eco, their camel spam is just going to be unbearable then. I don't see how that works out in Huni's favor, personally. There's more barracks in there, perhaps in order to be able to upgrade to pikemen. Another 2 villagers going down here. Bebe is just all over Huni's base right now. It is not easy. Okay, there we go. In again with the knights. A couple of conversions attempted from the south. A few rams on the way as well. This is probably going to be tricky. I don't think Bebe can do this. This does not look pushable. And double conversion comes through. That's the price you pay when you're diving a bit deep with the knights. There, 2 go down. And converted will be taken out. Pikemen and sergeants combined efforts. Going to take out the rams as well. You can't engage this with the knights because the monks are just waiting right beside. Maybe with another castle on the second flank. Perhaps really trying to just, well, secure both of the sides of the base. Going to set up another really nice TC down here. I mean, look at this. It's like a starting TC on Arabia. Not bad. This one, 15 knights on the way to Imperial Age. Look at the resources in the bank. That discrepancy is insane. 30 villagers more for BB2. Huni trying their best here to stick around. Find a way. If there's just any chance this game can be won, then sure. You have to try to find it because it is potentially 100 euros for your team. That said, BB is quite scary now. And this conversion was just cancelled. This very well could have gone through if Huni had tried to commit to it. Does not though. Turns back with the monks. So all the knights get to ride home to tell the tale. Comes forward with the monk now here, BB, to just take the relic away as well. With her knights leaving. A relic count already 3-0. This one probably going to be added to the collection. I wonder where the last relic is. I don't actually see it on the map right now. So it might already have been picked up by somebody in the process of being carried. Oh well. Wheelbarrow finally coming in for Huni. That is a much needed upgrade at this point. 40 on food. Is that 40 farms actually? It is. 46 farms. Wheelbarrow going to do wonders for the eco there. And BB probably forgot about that monk though. Holding that relic nice, fresh and warm in case Huni have a fancies going out there to try and pick it up. There's a couple of monks nearby, but doesn't see this most likely. Not sure if Town Watch is in there for the Sicilians. Oh, what is this? How unfortunate is this? Oh, saw the relic disappear maybe, but has no idea that the monk is just standing on this. I mean, this is hilarious. Look at this. Oh, come on. This is just insult to injury. Oh, man. Well, nonetheless, BB already has the 4 other relics. Going to have a lot of gold income there for free, and with the imp goes heavily into hand cannoneers. Now that should break Huni's back there. Even if they were able to build up a bit of a knight mass now and go for cavalry, for cavalier hauberk and imp, there's just no time and no resources to get there before BB would be able to push down everything. And one trap, I kind of like to see a couple more trebuchets right now. As with light cavalry and hand cannoneers, the push is commencing. Interesting choice to wall up here with the stone walls. That's Byzantine stone walls here. They are quite tanky. With the castle just trying to force Huni to fight on one singular front. The BB has all the units and controls everything. Knights coming out, all healed up in the castle actually. Good choice there. And has also found the monk, which is now carrying that relic back home, finally. And Huni gonna have to back up here. Finally sees the onslaught, sees light cavalry, hand cannoneers, and knights. More of those than Huni even has pikemen, so is likely to just get rolled right here. Still on the way to Imperial Age, not quite there. Oh no, BB is having a field day with this, despite pikemen getting some good hits in on the light cavalry. The knights and the hand cannoneers behind, they're just going to take everything here, aren't they? Nice defensive castle to try and put a hold to this, but it just looks like there's too many units. There's just nothing that can stop this, is there? Oh no, poor Huni is just getting stampeded over with all this cavalry and even these gunmen standing in the backyard. Well, BB doing a great job here punishing, taking that lead from Castle Age and running with it in early imp all over the opponent. 30 villagers up, has the army, has the entire map, frankly. And Huni did try to maybe set up a nice side eco, diversify a bit, but I mean, how is this going to hold up against the Hussar at this point? Logistica coming in as well, whatever that does. I mean, I'm just gotta say, it's a Byzantine set. You won't see me playing that, but man, hand cannoneer in melee, that is painful. But at least Huni is getting a decent enough trade here, resource wise. That is good. Takes out a lot of hand cannoneers there from BB, and maybe a little bit over eager for BB not to wait for her trebuchets. Only had one when the push started. But it is going to be enough to push this base here, certainly, isn't it? Hussars diving in on the monks. Oh, the garrison. Oh, it's ugly. It's ugly. Another monk going to go down here. That was not the best. And the base, the main base, is broken into as well. All these farmers are going to be taken out. Is that going to be the straw that breaks the Sicilian back? It very well might be, as all these villagers trying to migrate. It's not going to happen. Huni has to throw in the towel, and so we're tied at 1 game apiece in the finals with one final match to decide who picks up the 100 euros. If the number 3 seeded SaltedPepper and BB are going to be able to upset this, or if Daniel is now able to bring it home for his team with a victory in the 1v1. There's only one game left to be played here. It is Daniel against SaltedPepper, the two beast players, to decide the fate of this series. Decent APM numbers. I mean, wow, this is like... I mean, these guys are higher elo than me, definitely. So it's not surprising that the numbers are higher than in most my games. But 45 for Huni. Okay, 45 average. I respect it. Okay, well, last look here at the drafts maybe, as we have the score even up to 1-1. Now, of course, you would assume Daniel being the favorite here, just in terms of elos, if you guys were interested. Daniel around 25 to 2650, 100, well, what? No, 2k5 to 2k650-ish. SaltedPepper around 2200, at least at the time where I took down these elos, that was. So there is like a 300 elo gap there on average between these two. At least, again, that was when this bracket launched, which at this point is like over 2 months ago. But that's why I would say Daniel should be the decided favorite here. But what of a fight can SaltedPepper put up? Let's check it out. We take a look at the map draft. That is what it looks like. Again, 3 maps in the pool, both players choosing one. Arabia and Enclosed were chosen, and that means the last remaining map that was not chosen is going to be the one that is actually being played, which is a Lowland. Interesting one. Lowland is our map on which this tournament is going to be decided. I'm going to show you guys the Civ draft in a second as well. Give me just a minute while I load up the game already, just to be sure we have the right game. Yeah, it is on Lowland, our last match here. And whoops, we want the Civ draft. Yes, this it is. This is it. Okay. Nice. Daniel against SaltedPepper. Okay. Well, we've talked about the rules here in this one. Saracens and Berbers were banned. Now, with snipes of Mongols, Khmer, Vietnamese, and Cumans, the leftover civs for Daniel are Ethiopians and Malians. Either of those can be picked, more of an African theme for him, where SaltedPepper can choose between Magyar and Tatars, more of a Cav Archer cavalry theme for him. Well, let's see what they actually end up choosing here, as we're going to go into the last game of this bracket in this tournament, the final game in the final series. For 100 euros, for the winning team, it is SaltedPepper on the left side, ends up choosing the Magyars, whereas on the right side, Daniel goes with the Malians. Let's check out this matchup. Do we have any thoughts here? Who's got the advantage going in? Magyars, first of things first. Well, I already said, Cavalry Cav Archer theme was the draft for SaltedPepper. And the Magyars really excel at both of that. Obviously, we all know, well, I'm not sure if we all do know, but most well known maybe for the Magyars, Free Forging, Blast Furnace, Iron Casting, all these attack upgrades for Cav and Infantry. I never see them used for Infantry for the Magyars somehow, but you're sleeping on that. Some Magyar Infantry plays. Would love to see that sometime. Either way, early game, especially there, when it start a feudal, start a castle age, when you get those attack upgrades coming in for free, big power spikes there every time you age up. Early Scout Rush, devastating as a result of that. And couple that with the fact that the Scout unit itself is also cheaper for the Magyars. Man, you're able to do a lot of damage quite early if the opponent isn't walling diligently or has spearmen at the ready. So Magyars really strong, especially with early cavalry raid. They also get perfect arbalests as well, and their cavalry archers are amazing too. Right? You have that extra range and attack with recurve bow in Imperial Age if you end up picking that up. And as a team bonus, you also get a faster creation speed on cavalry archers. that as the new changed team bonus for the Magyars. Well, we'll see if SaltedPepper ends up committing down that road, but certainly one of the strongest Cav Archer civs in the game right now. On the other side, Daniel has picked the Malians, as we said, and they, well, they're an interesting one. They received a lot of love and a lot of play, especially after the April patch, where they received that amazing new gold bonus. So they are definitely good in that regard, but they're also classified as an infantry civ, which means naturally pros won't play them on infantry, but will try to do anything they can before building a single man-at-arm. So I wonder what way Daniel's going to take it. Personally, I think Malian's pretty flexible there, right? We often see like archer play. I mean, can do that. Can also do your Farimba cavalry in Imperial Age, though. I mean, it's definitely not amazing cavalry, for sure. Like you're lacking blast furnace, as we see right there. So the cavalry could definitely be better in general, but a hard-hitting cavalry nonetheless. If you're able to get up there, you get the armor upgrades for all the units. So you, in general, you are relatively flexible, and you have the nice pierce armor bonus on all your barracks units, and that is a sneakily big one. I love the Malians for the fact that they have 3 quite simple bonuses, but they are all hugely impactful and pretty much helpful in any game. Extra pierce armor on your barracks units, people probably know this, but I'm just going to emphasize it. The best counter for infantry typically is projectile units. So having that pierce armor, it's great against scorpions, it's great against skirms, it's great against arbalists. And that's what you oftentimes see against infantry. So not too bad. Really, I feel like the Civ has a very clear theme, a very distinct set of bonuses, and we'll see how Daniel is able to utilize them. We see Scout Fight down here, actually. Looks like, actually, for now, Daniel is winning this one. Let's see if SaltedPepper is going to pull out of that one. Actually, Daniel is the one pulling out. Maybe he was losing. Maybe I had seen that wrong. But yeah, he's definitely on the losing end of this one now. And on the run here, trying to get away from this. Both scouts with identical movement speed, but eventually you will be caught up to if you're the one running away, unless you're running in a straight line, which most of the time you won't be. So it looks like SaltedPepper is actually going to get the better start here to Feudal Age. Both players on the way up with 18 villagers. SP with 5 seconds of idle TC time. Those are going to be a little bit late, but still should not be enough of a time gap for Daniel to win this scout fight at all. I think he might be taken out once he starts going uphill here. It is, yeah, sadly going to lose that scout. Could have helped a lot, and there we go. Only one hit would do it at this point, unless it's uphill. Oh, okay. So that is not bad news for the Magyars. You typically want to see an early scout opening out of them. Barracks coming up here for both players. Daniel has a little bit of better timing and actually is able to get his scout to safety with those 3 HP. Nicely done. And goes for the archery range opening, which is not completely atypical. Right, as I said, we see archer play a decent amount of time from Malians. We see stable though from the Magyars as expected. A little bit late on that, as I said, like the barracks was a little bit late already, and then the wood wasn't just there, so not the smoothest possible Feudal Age transition for SaltedPepper, but it's also picking up double bit axe, and with the free forging that we already mentioned, is quite scary there with his Magyars. 3 HP scout cavalry doing its thing, still roaming around the map. Was crucial for Daniel to hold on to this, so to still be able to scout stuff and not be surprised by any potential flanks, tower rushes, whatever. Like just having a unit on the map that's giving you a bit of intel is always going to be useful. And good against skirmishers too, in case Daniel, who's now going into archers, is going to have to face skirmishers at some point. Okay, there we are. Horse collar also picked up by SaltedPepper, who's going into farms now. Who's not being too aggressive for now, and thus it's actually going to be Daniel. You don't see this very often, that the player going into archers is the one attacking the other guy first. But here we have SaltedPepper doing a pretty neat house wall. House is going to go down though. And now does the archery range wall. Well, that one is going to go up. And with the garrison here, makes it costly endeavor for Daniel to want to try and dive underneath this TC. He's not going to attempt that. And so SaltedPepper is going to get those walls up. On the other side, Daniel barely walled at all. Now going to have to face those two scouts getting into his base. No spearmen around, I don't think. At least he's got 4 spearmen. Where are they? Archer taken out for free. Are all the 4 spearmen on offense? Oh, he tried to dive underneath there, but really nice walls from SaltedPepper. Maybe we should check this out real quick. As, yeah. Okay, the house wall, really nice. Daniel thought he had snuck around this house successfully, but SP was there, and now pretty much has taken out all these scouts or all the spears and archers that were trying to dive here. Still a couple more waiting outside the base, but yeah, as we said, all of the spearmen that Daniel made are on offense. So these scouts getting into the base for free. Daniel, no walls around the base, but has the small resource walls, but he's over-chopped there. There's no way for Daniel. Oh god. What an unfortunate situation. You don't have any spears to defend as well, so gonna have to abandon the wood line. Oh, it is ugly. Luckily for him, there's no villagers. Oh, well, actually, it looks like 1 villager was taken out by these scouts. It was only 3, so luckily for Daniel, this could have ended way worse. But still, that overchop, that could have been costly. When you're going for small walls, for resource walls, gotta be diligent with those. And it's always a bit more difficult than having your 1 ring of house walls and palisades around the base. Interesting quick walls there. Going to be destroyed here, though. It looks like that gate went down. Slowly but surely, I believe these skirms from SaltedPepper should be enough. Pick up this little raid here. While still, SP scouts forward, keeping some pressure on Daniel. Good tension there, actually able to get them away from the spearmen too. Slowly but certainly the raid's quieting down at this point. Both players settling down a little bit, and SaltedPepper now actually going into the archery range more heavily as he queues up the first archer himself. Bit surprising to me. Not always what you see out of the Magyos, but not too bad, because even if you end up grabbing fletching or archer padding, you're doing a pretty good job in the long term there, since you might want to go into cavalry archers anyways, and if that is the case, you're grabbing some useful technologies early on then. Well, the archers there still being annoying there by Daniel. EcoKD 1-0 after that 1 pick that SaltedPepper got, but keeping that gold here idle for now. SaltedPepper though got a really good start to this game, and remember guys, he's like on average, what did we say, 300 elo on average lower than Daniel, at least that is the latest data I got. And he's done a really nice job. He's got that 1 villager kill, has 40 seconds less of idle TC time. He's got better eco upgrades right now, so he's up 2 to 3 villagers, and his army isn't looking too bad either. This is probably the best kind of start he could have hoped for in this one. And I always say, Magyar late game, if you're getting that is just amazing as well. You've got really great cavalry and archers, cav archers too. So it's not bad. Well, Daniel certainly not out yet though. He's, for goodness sake, he's performed in every game so far in this tournament. This is the big one. This is the one that, if either player wins, secures 100 euros for their team. So he's certainly going to have to step up here. Okay, engagement looking really good for Daniel here. It looks like he's going to take out all of this, unless SaltedPepper decides to fall back here, which, with the skirmishers present, apparently it's not going to decide to do. It is an awkward engagement. Look at both players are actually losing a lot here. The archers was very vulnerable to the skirmishers, but just that 1 scout doing heavy lifting there for Daniel to kind of even out the trade in the end. I think it was 50-50. So things come to a close. KD-wise, you can see a lot of chaos here. Both players having lost a lot of units, but no real eco damages on either side. Second archery range going to come up for SaltedPepper as well. Look at the resources, man. Really low on res. Has 12 on wood, though, and already 300 in the bank. Not sure what other wood is going to be spent on. It's a second stable, too. We see double stable, double archery range. No market, though, do we? Well, interesting. If I have a lot of excess wood, I typically just get my market as soon as possible. But now, Daniel has got a decent position to harass from with the archers outside. Skirmisher here, good pickup for SaltedPepper, forcing the archers away. Scouts, of course, not able to dive onto the skirm behind the walls. That said, it's Daniel that gets the scout pick. Daniel that gets the click up. Instead of adding a bunch of extra production buildings, Daniel just gets to the next age. SaltedPepper trapped in feudal age right now, it seems. Daniel on the way up here. It's gonna be scary. It's adding a stable right now as well. I wonder what we're gonna see. Double stable here, actually. You can see knights, can see camels. Depending really on what SaltedPepper does, I assume. But Daniel has spotted this. He knows there's 2 archery ranges and 2 stables now, so... I mean, SaltedPepper is just going crazy, spamming scouts and archers right now. He's just doing full feudal military against Daniel, who's on the way to Castle Age. He's going to have to weather a bit of an attack in the early Castle Age, I suppose. But I think his spot is not too bad here. Still has decent amount here with 9 on gold. Engagement here looks really good for SaltedPepper, though. Scouts are getting quite low. Danny able to pull a couple of low HP ones back, but now with the archers coming forward, that gold is going to have to be abandoned. That is not what you want to have to do as the Malians. 700 gold on this pile there. For the Malians, that is more like 900 with their Civ bonus. Ouch. SaltedPepper doing a lot of damage here. Oh, look at the villagers and the scouts going down. Now, that was the second villager kill. And maybe now at the woodline again, there could be some eco damages found. SaltedPepper with that all-in feudal. He's really committing hard to something here. Is that going to pay off? Daniel's up to the next age. He could use a siege workshop, but he doesn't have the wood for it. Well, how is he going to be able to stabilize this? He's down almost 10 villagers at this point. And the archers plus scouts in his base, they are extremely oppressive. The TC is full. There's no more space in there. Well... and more villagers are still being harassed. This is amazing damage from SaltedPepper, who's also somehow able to click up to Castle Age now. Well, this game state is really good for him, I would say. Honestly, he's fully walled up at home as well, so it's not like these knights are even just gonna ride in there and do damage. Is this a major upset, or did SaltedPepper just get amazing throughout the course of this tournament until my elo numbers are outdated? I mean, honestly, this game is still going. Like, I'm not calling it yet. God forbid. But I'm just saying, like, he's holding up really well. The heavy pressure here at the end of feudal age, Daniel did not expect, apparently. But now with the knight numbers increasing, scale barding also on the way, foraging also having been completed. Now it's gonna be SaltedPepper who's going to have to defend a bit. Castle Age still not in, so can't do monks yet against those knights, which is gonna be annoying. Really good catch there by Daniel. Needs that house to go up and gets it up. That is big. Needs that one. And the skirmisher defending here. Oh god. Oh honey. Oh, it's so nice that he's trying to help. It's so nice. He's trying to pitch in here. Okay, he's just gonna get shot, isn't he? Oh, how sweet. How sweet. Oh god. Oh no. Well, he's gonna fend off all these knights, I'm sure. He's not even gonna get walled out by his own townspeople. Oh, this is the hero. This guy is the hero. I mean, oh no, he was sacrificed just like that. And some villagers might end up going down as well. Okay, Daniel is furious about the damage he suffered there at the end of feudal age. He wants some vengeance here. Going to take out these scouts here, perhaps. And going to try to find some place to break in here. That said, SaltedPepper has arrived to the next age. What is he going to do? Well, he's going to drop a TC first things first. That's a bit ballsy. The opponent is in your base with military after all. I would have expected, certainly would have expected a monastery first here at the start of Castle Age, but looks like that's not at all what SaltedPepper is interested in. A little bit late on the withdrawal here with the southern woodline, so there's going to be some villagers going down there, pretty sure. Husbandry on the way. Well, 9 archers there for SaltedPepper. Damage output should be good, but the knights are still tanky. 3 pierce armor, the archers with how big attack? 5 attack. Not the best. Not the best damage there. And it's a bit ugly right now for SaltedPepper, who's had to migrate the woodline over here to these, but at least the second TC is up, and there's 25 farms working. And good catch there. Walls behind this hole that Daniel broke in through, and so he's going to take out both these knights at the cost of just the 1 villager. I think SP takes that trade any day of the week. Daniel still pouncing forward, still queuing more knights, and now also has a few monks on the way. I really am surprised that SaltedPepper didn't end up opting into monks himself. Instead, he's going to go into light cap with a lot of scouts here, ready to upgrade. That's going to be amazing against Daniel's monks, at least. Wonder why there's no monks of SaltedPepper's own. Maybe he just hates Magyar monks, which I think are really not good. Could be mistaken there, but I don't think they really have a good tech tree at all in the monastery. That said, these light cavalry, they're amazing against the monks, but pretty bad against the knights, so you don't really want to be fighting this. Now with the numbers, thinks he can get a little bit of a better trade, but not really, as Daniel's just going to start to back off. Crossbow upgrade coming in for SP as well. There's 9 archers that are waiting to be upgraded. It has definitely quieted down. SaltedPepper with a 10 villager lead and growing, as he has the second TC. Still running. What is Daniel gonna do about this? Not adding any more TCs. He doesn't have any stone. Probably sold all of that to get up to the next age, although I didn't catch that, sadly. Well, he might just lose a couple more villagers over there. Knight was converted here by Daniel, but then that's a lot of light cavalry. Might be able to take out these monks at the end of this. Yup, just assassinates them. Most of the light cav end up going down as well, but that was another few villager kills here, I believe. 9 to 5, the EQKD still in SaltedPepper's favor, and still with two town centers to 1. Camels, that might be a problem here for all of this light cav and knight army that SaltedPepper has built up. It was a good choice to add a few more crossbow in, I believe. And there's another break-in, there's another overchop here. Knights getting into the wood line for SaltedPepper. That needs to be taken care of as soon as possible. The house wall here going to be attempted, although the knights this time around, good choice. Oh, or is it? Daniel's not going out? I thought he was going out. Now he's trapped once again, but SaltedPepper is sending the villagers back. Oh, this is a bit awkward. It is a little bit awkward. Knights, well, he had them on no attack stance or something, Daniel. I think they could have gotten a decent amount of damage here. Is trapped into the base once more, so going to have to ride around. And SaltedPepper now expanding to 30C here in the middle. Oh lord. Oh. Maybe another villager kill or 2 can come through from these knights, but eventually it should be taken out. Light cavalry diving forward too. Don't think they found anything this time around. No kills on those. But my man. I mean, SaltedPepper, what is this? Half an hour into the game, not even half a minute of idle TC time with 2 TCs running for such a long time. That is why he's up almost 20 villagers at this point. Playing an amazing game so far. Can he bring Daniel to falter here? Can he actually pull this off and bring it home? So curious. Okay, well, there's another overchop here, so maybe Daniel can get in, but nice catch. SaltedPepper not gonna get surprised this time around with a lot of crossbows here, actually. Has a great unit there against the camels. Good reaction on the garrison as well. Gets those villagers to safely, although it looks like another knight ends up getting converted there. So the cavalry numbers for the Malians here are getting quite high. But I love the crossbows, man. The crossbows are doing a great job against camels. But that said, we know we have chain barding in already, so this cavalry is pretty tanky. Daniel gets right on top of that hill, and he might kill a lot of units here. I'm not sure how this battle is gonna go. Oh, I don't think this is too great for SaltedPepper, honestly. But it's so hard to tell who's winning right now. Actually, The orange unit's going down quite a bit slower than I would have expected. He might have to delete a house or something. Well, no, he's just going to give that up. There's no way he lets all of this cavalry into his base. What am I saying? Well, all things considered, the army being wiped out there for Daniel. So, as I said, it was a really good battle to take for Daniel. SaltedPepper, all the crossbows, they're gone now. He's going to need to build them up from scratch again if he wants to be if he wants that to be his main unit against the camels, but might want to go into halberdier as well with the Magios here. Well, pikemen for now, of course, and that's exactly what he does. I like that choice. That's a lot of cavalry swarming around his base, and we might have another overchop here soon, actually, on the wood line, although I can't see the exact number on it for now. Daniel, he found just the fight he needed here. Got a lot of military kills. No eco damage though, or barely any. So the villager gap is at 35 at this point. If this game state continues as it is right now, SaltedPepper really can't be mad. I mean, okay, his eco underneath this TC is being idled quite a bit, but somehow still only at 34 seconds of idle time. This is high level of play, guys. Oh my god. Oh well, Daniel, he needs to somehow keep the pressure up. He needs to do some more damage here, because he's so far behind with the eco numbers right now. It's just exponential disadvantage for him. 40 villagers deficit at this point. The monks are doing a great job though, always getting some conversions in. Oh, pikeman here on both sides gonna be pivotal. And SaltedPepper now decides he's got enough eco to go into cavalry archers. I wonder if he's got enough gold for this though. It's down here, still getting raided a little bit, but apparently able to take care of it. That's a lot of knights here though. Then again, the pikemen are taking very resource efficient trades into this. And the monks behind for SaltedPepper, finally, that is not bad. That is great value he gets out of those conversions. Okay, one comes through. And the knights are going to have to back off for Daniel here. Honestly, guys, at this point, it's a 50 villager gap. SaltedPepper has decent enough army. This is the last ditch effort for Daniel to turn this around. This castle forward, he's going to need to start a big push with this. And let's see if he can get it up first. A couple of cav archers already there for SaltedPepper to work away at the villagers. With the monks also extremely annoying to these villagers. Look at this, how he's cancelling the construction here. Permanently. I mean, it's just super annoying. Castle seems to be going up, but how much damage is Daniel going to be able to do with this? SaltedPepper, if he holds on here, I really feel like he's got this win. He's got this tournament, like, right in front of his face, if he's able to seize it. Daniel, he's gotten the castle up, but where to go from here? He's got half the villager numbers. He's barely got any map control. And Daniel, you can just migrate over, or sorry, SaltedPepper can just migrate over here to the east. There's a lot of gold here. Actually, the series score somehow reset itself after the last game. We are at 1-on-1, of course. Winner take all. Final game in this finals. It looks like Daniel, he has to call it. All right. The back-to-back wins in the 1v1s for Team SaltedPepper and BB. They end up taking it here. Daniel, man, he had such a strong round throughout this tournament. Looked like the best player in this one. But then in the final match was bested by SaltedPepper, who's able to grab the victory there for the Team Aussies, as they called themselves. Wow. I did not see that one coming, guys, like, honestly. How? Oh, no, not bad, man. Not bad. That is what we wanted to see in this tournament. Right? In these 1v1s, I feel like there was always the potential for these upsets in the 1v1s. I never thought it was as easy as just saying, yeah, the higher rated player, like, with these elo differences, is always going to win. And we have one of the most impactful upsets that you could imagine here in the final game of the tournament. After losing the first one, back-to-back victories in the 1v1s really deserve a tournament win. And congrats, man. That's going to be 100 euros to them. Well, if they're Aussies, maybe euros doesn't mean much to them, but it is a lot of money. It is. Well, okay, that was a fun fun tournament bracket here. This is just the mid-elo bracket. We're gonna see a lot more WOTs from the high-elo bracket in the upcoming days and weeks, I assume. Mid-elo bracket is over with now, though. And so if we take one last look here, the series score final is 2-1 for SaltedPepper and BB. If we look over here at the bracket, as I said, this is the bracket, right? Yep, it is. So in the finals, we had Huni and Daniel against BB and SaltedPepper. And yeah, it is actually BB and SaltedPepper who ends up winning this. Let me actually see. Yeah, we can do this that way. Maybe if we turn it yellow, it looks like they're the winners. Well, no, this just looks horrible. Well, okay. We just watched the series, though. We know who won. It is BB, BasicallyBebe, and SaltedPepper getting the #1 spot in this tournament. Still, a shout out, I mean, to all the teams in this bracket. Also, of course, specifically to Huni and Daniel. Thanks for taking your time, everybody here. Thanks for all these games. It was a close finals as well, I think everybody can agree. And it ends with an upset here. That is always beautiful for the narrative, of course. And yeah, well, this is what the tournament, or at least this bracket of the tournament, is going to end with. It's gonna be just this one. Whoops. How about this? Is this better for readability? Kind of. Okay, this is the final state of the bracket here. And it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. Congrats to BB and Salted. And for all the viewers here, we're going to have in the next couple of days more of this tournament from the high elo bracket that I'm going to be casting as well. Finally, my vacation is over and I'm glad to be able to get back to this. Thanks for joining me.